Welcome. In this video, will ZBCN coin decline deepen? We will analyze it. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and please watch to the end to understand. Looking at the chart, one can notice a long-standing ascending channel structure. This is an important pattern that shows that the price is in a steady upward movement. The buyers are periodically stepping in and that the market is generally in an upward trend. The lower band of the channel has been tested many times, with the price reacting each time and continuing to rise. This proves that the lower line of the channel works as a strong support zone and is carefully monitored by market players. However, the recent developments in the lower band of this bullish channel give important signals that the momentum in the market is weakening. In particular, the fact that the price once again touches the lower line of the channel and breaks strongly downwards this time can be considered as a serious warning sign for investors. Such breakouts usually signal the end of the trend, or at least the beginning of a significant correction. This is because when the lower band of a channel is broken, that area may no longer work as support, but as potential resistance. The implication of this in technical analysis is quite clear. If an ascending channel breaks down and the price can't get back into it, meaning that it can't hold on to it even if it approaches the lower band again, then there is a high probability that the market will be pressured downwards. This would cause investors to be more cautious, while many traders might take this break as a selling opportunity. In short, whether the price will return back into the channel is one of the most important factors that will determine the short and medium-term direction of the market. Especially after the breakout, the price's movement towards the channel bottom line is of critical importance. This area now works as a retest area. In other words, this area which was previously support may now act as resistance. If the price comes to this area and struggles here and reacts downwards again, this indicates that the breakout is permanent. This may cause the decline to deepen and the price to head towards new support zones outside the channel. On the other hand, if the price rebounds back into the channel, it may indicate that the decline is a fake out, that is, a fake breakout. In such a case, the market may go back into bullish mode. Therefore, how the price reacts to the lower band of the channel should be watched very carefully. If there are no reversal signals and the price starts to slide lower, the next support zones or horizontal consolidation areas become targets. The underlying reasons for this breakout may include a drop in volume, loss of momentum, macroeconomic data, or external factors. They can also be sudden and aggressive, sometimes in response to certain news flows or emotional reactions. However, from a technical point of view, this breakout indicates that the price has lost its momentum in the current uptrend and should now be more cautious. For traders, risk management is of utmost importance in such situations. Since structural breakdowns such as channel breakouts have the potential to change the direction of the trend, cut-loss levels should be carefully determined and positions should be reviewed. Especially for long-term traders, this break may signal the beginning of a new downtrend. For short-term traders, although these areas may offer buying and selling opportunities, it should be kept in mind that volatility will increase and risk will increase. In addition, in technical analysis, support and resistance transformations gain importance after such breakouts. The channel bottom line, which has served as support many times before, has now become a resistance zone. This means that even if the price approaches this line, it may face serious selling pressure. This pressure may increase as both technical traders and algorithms come into play. So a rebreak of this line has to be accompanied by strong volume support, not just price getting there.
But we can't decide the analysis by the channel alone. Let's look at the other metrics. Stay tuned. A careful look at the chart shows that the price is currently approaching a very critical level. This is a very decisive threshold, not only in terms of current price action, but also in terms of future trend direction. Because if the price stags below this level, a significant structural change will have occurred in the market in technical terms. In particular, with a break below this level, the price structure will evolve into a falling bottom pattern, which will be considered one of the first and clearest signs of a downtrend. At the moment, it is a matter of great curiosity how the market will react to this threshold, because such thresholds are usually the areas where investor psychology comes into play most intensely. On the one hand, there may be strong buying to protect this level, while on the other hand, if this level is broken, panic sales may be accompanied by sharper pullbacks. This may cause the price to accelerate and deepen its downward movement. In particular, attention should be paid to what kind of structure the price up to this level creates compared to previous lows. If the price breaks down from here and dips below the previous lows, then the market will start to form lower technical lows, which is considered the beginning of a downtrend. In technical analysis, for an asset to be considered to be in a downtrend, there must be a succession of lower highs and lower lows. Therefore, a break of this level would be a very negative signal, not only for the short term, but also for the medium-term trend. For this reason, it's very important that the price does not go below this support level. That is, the price stabilizes at this level and reacts upwards in order for the positive scenario to continue. Because if the price reacts strongly upwards from here, then the fact that the previous bottom level is preserved means that the technical structure remains intact. This can be read as a development that will strengthen the possibility of the continuation of the uptrend or at least a horizontal consolidation. On the other hand, if the price breaks below this level, it may have a negative impact on not only the technical structure, but also on investor psychology, because such a breakout will create the perception among investors that the trend is now bearish, and this perception may trigger chain sales. Especially since such breakouts are also tracked by algorithmic trading systems, the breakout may be followed by sudden and intense sell orders. This increases volatility and causes the price to fall to lower levels in a shorter time. That's why in technical analysis, such levels are called last strongholds. This means that if this level cannot be maintained, the current trend is considered to no longer be valid and the market enters a new downtrend. This means that traders should reconsider their positions, recalculate their risks, and put their cut-loss strategies into action, because downtrends are often accompanied by panic. They can set the stage for much faster and sharper declines. If the place comes to the zone and manages to hold here, it would be a new confirmation of support. This would provide an important psychological relief for the market. If there is volume buying at this level, this would indicate that buyers are still strongly present in the market and defending the price. In such scenarios, the price can be expected to make upward attacks again and start testing previous highs. In this case, a rising bottom pattern is formed, which is an important sign that the uptrend will continue. However, it's worth mentioning again that if the price breaks the support zone downwards, the downtrend will be considered to have technically started. In such a case, traders need to identify the next support areas below and try to predict how far the decline can continue. At this point, Fibonacci retracement levels, past support resistance lines, and volume profiles should be carefully analyzed. This is because these analyses can more clearly identify areas where the price will stagnate or where new buyers will enter the market. As a result, this support level on which the price is currently standing is at an extremely critical point in terms of technical analysis. If the price starts to rebound from this area with an upward reaction, the bearish threat will be averted for now. However, if it goes below this level, the beginning of the downtrend will be announced as the falling bottom structure will become clear. Therefore, it is of great importance for investors to follow this level carefully and manage their positions flexibly according to the developments.
When we look at the MACD indicator, we can clearly see that a technically critical crossover is occurring. This crossover, especially since it is happening from below upwards, is considered one of the key signals indicating a potential market rise. At the moment, not only are the MACD line and the signal line getting closer to each other, but they also appear to have completed a bullish crossover. This formation is generally an early indication that the market is coming to life again, that buyers are stepping back in, and the positive momentum is starting to gain strength once more. The level at which this crossover occurs is also quite important. If this crossover happens in the negative territory of the MACD histogram, that is below the zero line, and the lines begin to move upward afterward, it is considered a potential reversal signal. In such scenarios, investors often prefer to take positions because these kinds of crossovers typically occur before an upward price movement begins. In other words, while the price is still near the bottom, the MACD starts signaling, which is highly valuable for investors looking to enter early. The fact that the MACD lines are moving toward the zero line also carries additional significance. The zero level is considered a sort of reference line in this indicator. When the MACD lines cross above zero, it shows that the short-term average has moved above the long-term average. This signals a trend reversal, confirming that a bullish rather than a bearish trend is now in place. So it's not just about the crossover, but also the move above the zero line, which provides clear insight into the strength of the trend. If the MACD lines cross above the zero line with this bullish crossover, it usually indicates the beginning of a strong upward movement. This is because it shows that momentum in the market is significantly strengthening, buyers are fully taking control, and the influence of sellers is diminishing, especially if such signals are supported by the price structure. For example, if the price breaks a significant resistance level or moves above a descending trend line, then the signals from the MACD become even more reliable. In such a scenario, the market could experience a significant upward acceleration and price movements may become much stronger. Attention should also be paid to the MACD histogram. If the histogram bars begin to turn positive right after the crossover, this also confirms that momentum is increasing. So it's not just about the crossover of the lines. If the histogram also begins to move above the zero line, it signals that the bullish move is technically confirmed. In this case, investor confidence increases and more volume enters the market, which can cause prices to rise more sharply. The MACD indicator is one of the most reliable tools used by many investors and analysts to predict market direction. Therefore, every signal that forms here carries significant importance. The current crossover taking place and its proximity to the zero level may indicate that the market is on the verge of a transformation. If this crossover continues and the lines manage to move above zero, it could lead to a major shift in investor sentiment. Many investors see MACD above zero as a clear indicator of a positive trend, which increases buying pressure and causes prices to rise more rapidly. Also, such crossovers typically occur before major price moves. That means the upward movement that begins with the MACD entering positive territory may not be short-term. Rather, it could be the beginning of a medium to long-term uptrend.
This presents a significant opportunity for investors. Especially when looking at similar technical setups in the past, it has been observed the prices experienced strong increases when MACD crossed above zero in this kind of formation. Therefore, the current bullish crossover in the MACD is highly critical development, not only technically, but also psychologically and strategically. With this crossover, many investors may adjust their positions and develop new buying strategies. At the same time, if this development aligns with other technical indicators, for example, if the RSI is also showing bullish signals or the price has broken a key resistance level, then the signal provided by the MACD becomes much more reliable. In conclusion, the current upward crossover observed in the MACD indicator stands out as a particularly critical development. If the lines approach or even cross above the zero line, the bullish momentum is expected to accelerate further and become more intense. These kinds of situations can represent significant opportunities for investors who rely on technical analysis. However, as always, it is best to evaluate this signal alongside other technical and fundamental data rather than relying on a single indicator. No technical indicator provides a 100% guarantee on its own, but when combined with proper analysis, risk management, and strategy, it can offer substantial advantages to investors. We may wait for the MACD to cross the zero line. Once it does, the price is likely to make a stronger upward movement.
Yes, friends, I hope you liked the video. If you subscribe to my channel and like the video, more videos will be coming. Be careful in your investments, analyze the risks correctly, and always take strategic steps. I will be with you with different analyses, investment opportunities, and technical information in my videos. I wish you all a lot of profit. See you soon.